Hey y'all, um, I figured I would share a little bit more of the Lord's word today. I know in my last video I mentioned a verse that was mentioned in my dream last night, and I truly believe God put that verse in there. Like he didn't tell me. I mean, I kind of had an idea in my dream last night what the verse was, but all God told me was the number and the chapter it was in. He mentioned it was a few pages before the verse I'm going to read in this video. And today I'm going to read to y'all about concerning a married life. Concerning married life. Corinthians 7 is going to be talking about marriage and I guess pretty much the do's and don'ts. And I guess pretty soon I'll read another part of it concerning the unmarried, which is also in Corinthians 7. Um, it's kind of that Corinthians. Well, when it says concerning the unmarried, that kind of just goes off in a spiel about how much freedom you have in your life when it comes to choosing who you want to marry. If you don't get married, it's just fine. Is what it's saying basically. Like as Christians, we're expected to have a wife. Especially ones that cannot control themselves. You know, and there's a verse in the Bible about that. If you cannot control yourself, you must find a wife because you know that's just the way it is. So today I'm going to be reading Corinthians chapter 7, and I hope y'all enjoy it. I hope y'all take something from it. But let's start out with chapter number 7. All right. Now for the matters you wrote about, it is good for a man not to have sexual relations with a woman. But since sexual immorality is occurring, each man should have sexual relations with his own wife, and each woman with her husband. The husband should fulfill his marital duty to his wife, and likewise the wife to her husband. The wife does not have authority over her own body, yields to the husband, and same with the husband does not have authority to his own body, but yields to the wife. Do not deprive each other, except perhaps by mutual consent, and for a time, so that you may devote yourselves to prayer. Then come together again, so that Satan will not tempt you because of your lack of self control. I say this as a concession, not a command. And now that's all I had highlighted, but we'll go on to Corinthians 7:7. I wish that all of you were as I am, but for each of you has your own gift from God. And that's talking about a wife. A wife is a gift from God. And I know a lot of people, they pray for a wife, and one doesn't come automatically, but a wife's not going to come automatically. Like, you got to give it time. Just pray every night, and eventually God will give you one. So, God, one has this gift, another has that. So, okay, let me finish this because it's going to kind of tie into the next part I'm going to read. Now to the unmarried. And the widows I say, it is good for them to stay unmarried as I do. But if they cannot control themselves, they should marry, for it is better to marry than to burn with passion. To get married, I give this command, not I, but the Lord. A wife must not separate from her husband. If she does, she must remain unmarried, or else be reconciled to her husband. And a husband must not divorce his wife. And I know that's a lot to take in because in today's society, 50% of marriages end in divorce, and that's very sad. And a lot of people get remarried, but in this book right here in the Bible, it says you're not supposed to get remarried except for to your own husband. And I know in today's society we're taught that we're taught not to get back together with the same person that we were with before, but in the Bible it says you're supposed to. But this only I truly believe this only comes out of if God gives you a wife. Because if God gives you a wife, one that He made specifically for you, then, I mean, what's the point in divorcing that, you know? And I know some things get into us from time to time, you know, we'll end up hating our wife, you know, or we won't get, some people just don't get along. But yet, just work things out through God, because if God is not the center of your relationship, it's not going to work out to begin with. And I truly believe what it says right here, when it says all that, it's talking about, you know, if the relationship drifts away from God. So now we're going to read concerning the unmarried, and this kind of tells you how much freedom you have as a Christian. So now about the virgins, I have no command from the Lord, but I have a judgment as one who by the Lord's mercy is trustworthy. Because of the present crisis, I think that it is good for a man to remain as he is. Are you pledged to a woman? Do not seek to be released. Are you free from such commitment? Do not look for a wife. But if you do not marry, you have not sinned. And if a virgin marries, she has not sinned. But those who marry will face many troubles in life. And I want to spare you this. You know, we see marriages fall apart, basically. And what it's saying is that you don't have to get married if you don't want to. But, you know, us men, we get lonely and we want to get married. But it'll get to that point. What I mean, brothers and sisters, is that the time is short. From now on, those who have wives should live as they do not. Those who mourn, as if they do not. Those who are happy, as if they were not. Those who buy something, as if it were not theirs to keep. But those who use the things of this world, as if not engrossed in them. For this world sorry, I was checking how much longer I had on video. For this world is its present from passing away. If you would like to be free from concern, an unmarried man is concerned about the Lord's affairs, how he can please the Lord. But a married man is concerned about the affairs of the world, how he can please his wife. And his interests are divided. An unmarried woman or virgin is concerned about the Lord's affairs. Her aim is to be devoted to the Lord in both body and spirit. But a married woman is concerned about the affairs of the world, how she can please her husband. I am saying this for your own good, not to restrict you, but that you may live in the right way, in undivided devotion from the Lord. If anyone is worried, oh crap, I'm gonna skip the page. If anyone is worried, might not be acting honorably toward the virgin and he is engaged to, and if his passions are too strong and he feels he ought to marry, he should do as he wants. So it's saying you can get married if you want. But that's all this is about. You don't have to get married if you don't want to, but it's preferred. It's preferred that if you have urges, you probably should get married. He is not sinning. So if you don't get married, you're not sinning. If you do get married, you're not sinning. They should get married, but the man who has settled the matters in his own mind, who is under no compulsion, has control over his own will, and who has made up his mind not to marry the virgin, this man also does the right thing. So then So then who marries the virgin does right, but he who does not marry her does better. A woman is bound to her husband as long as he lives, but if her husband dies, she is free to marry anyone she wishes. But he must belong to the Lord. In my judgment, she is happier if she stays as she is. And I think that I too have the Spirit of God. And I'm sorry for stuttering so much there. Like there's a lot going around. There's a lot going on around me, so that's why I keep looking around because I live right in front of a busy highway, so I'm always hearing cars and stuff go by. And yeah, so hope y'all got something from that. It's just saying how much freedom you have, and we have a lot of it. But so, with all that being said, I want to thank y'all for staying in the video this long, staying here, watching and listening. Um, I got a stain on my shirt. I don't know what that is. Anyway, so I want to thank y'all for staying this long with me, watching this. I hope y'all learned something from it. Um, so yeah, in Corinthians 7:2, it's talking about you're supposed to wait till marriage to have sexual relations. So, with all that being said, I want to thank y'all for watching, and y'all have a great night. Y'all have a blessed night. Y'all have a blessed day. Whatever time of day you're watching this, and or night. I want to thank y'all for everything, and y'all have a great night.